this takes maybe 20 to 30 minutes to get here. But we can easily find a Jaguar 5 minutes away. But we would still go out that far. So that's where all the boats spend all their time in this area for the entire day. And then we come back, so we get back probably around 11 o'clock. This area is called Three Brothers, and it's split into three rivers. One on the right is a dead end. It's an oxbow it doesn't flow through here on this one on the right. It's called Rio Negro. The water is darker, but it's very calm. It's great for reflections. We see everything in there. We had great Jaguar at the very end of it last year. We see the otters in there. Lots of caiman in there. So one boat, when we do get here, if we haven't had a call yet for a Jaguar by the time we get up there, one of our boats probably go that way. On the left is the continuation of what we call the Cuyaba River, the main river. That's another branch that will go out. And then this one in the middle they do call Three Brothers, this one in the middle. And this one actually here has a couple of ways to get across over to this river that they'll take these little side channels, which are actually really good. Water's usually calmer. That's where we'll find capybaras with birds walking on their heads and things like that.
Oh, I got him coming up in the bank. Yay.
I don't know if there's anything else he wants to tell you, but that's all.
This is the prime area for jaguars because this area is lower than this one compared to the Piccadilly River one. You can see much more green here. This means forest. And this is lower, so there is less trees and more grass. And more grass means more capybara because that's the meaning for capybara, grass eater. And the banks are also lower compared to here, so the caimans they can climb on sandbanks or even on the banks of the river. Jaguar call.
Jaguar call.
because we have a good number of capybaras and caimans on this area, our best chances for jaguars will be on this area. Eventually, we'll have a radio call from someone on Piccadilly River. All the boats, they have a radio. Even the people are going out fishing. So even the people are going out fishing, they know the other guests are looking for jaguars. So if they're fishing here on Piccadilly River and if they see a jaguar, they will let us know, and then we go upstream here. The tall trees also may attract the tapirs, because the tapirs, they feed, it's a forest animal, it's not a marsh animal, and they feed on the fruits from the forest. So eventually we got a radio call for tapir, and if you say, okay, are you okay with a tapir? Okay, yeah. Instead of a jaguar, I take the tapir. Okay, but 5 days usually, you know, we've got a good number of. Any questions?
Come on, little chicks. amazing the different birds you hear when you're sitting at idle here with no engine on.
Yep. This is the bird that was posturing and like standing up real tall I was asking you about.
Yep. Pheasant, tiger heron.
We were on the river for 5 days, and every day was a new adventure. These parrots are collecting sticks to build a nest. Mark explained that parrots build one large communal nest together instead of individual nests.
There. So that we got the onion quite soon, so be prepared.
You give me a good time.
Turn around, Richard. Richard Jaguar.
It was like some kind of a separation.
They looked like they were tending eggs earlier, but if there's babies in there, obviously, maybe they're not all.
This kingfisher was beating this fish against the hard surface to soften it and mash it so it could swallow it more easily. Kingfishers have several different colors and subspecies.
With first. So that will make a nice video. That was female Amazon.
When jaguars are protected in the Jaguar corridor, the wildlife that lives there is also protected. Capuchin monkeys were having a heyday jumping out of this tree. These two monkeys looked like they were deciding whether or not to jump. We watched 7 monkeys jump one at a time, more than 20 feet from the ground. It was actually pretty hilarious to watch and amazing that they don't get hurt. One mother monkey had her baby on her back. She jumped out, baby and all, and landed safely. As if it was no big thing, her baby seemed completely unfazed and totally fine.
That's the striated heron. Black crown is against this blue sky, which is beautiful this time of the year. Perfect reflection in the water. It's jealousy. I want my picture too.
I thought this reflection was exceptional. It looks like a watercolor painting the way it moves through the water. Rayo's right eye is crossed, but he still seems to see very well. Rayo, or Mick Jaguar, is a very active jaguar, and he doesn't seem to mind being around people. You can see how much ground he covers while hunting just in one morning.
4, 3, 2, 1, 0. You see it? Diamond, left and right.
Outside their family den, this otter free-for-all playtime went on for 13 straight minutes of hilarious antics. The Pantanal became a World Heritage Site in 2000, according to Britannica.com. It is a large stretch of wetland south of the Amazon rainforest. Every year, from November to March, it floods, and floodwaters cover the entire region. Many of the ranches close during that time. The annual floods are so powerful that they create curves in many of the originally straight bridges on the long, dusty Trans-Pantanera Road that leads to the Pantanal National Park. The ipe tree is the national tree of Brazil. It flowers pink once a year, and it is stunning. About 600 species of birds live in the Pantanal, according to Britannica.com. Endangered or rare animals include the jaguar, the giant anteater, the hyacinth macaw, the marsh deer, and the giant river otter. The beautiful hyacinth macaw is the world's largest parrot, notes Britannica.
This one's still here. My opinion.
I just think it's that nice when you look at it against the mud.
Looks like he's about to try to catch a fish.
Don't we need to split apart so you can get across or do something? I mean, I don't know. He doesn't? Okay.
The cachalote, which is a brown job, you release worry.
accustomed to the boats. They see the people in the boat along with the boat as one unit. Because they're not afraid of the boats, jaguars are typically not aggressive. People are not normally a prey species for jaguars. Several generations of jaguars have now grown up around the ecotourism boats. I was impressed with how quiet and respectful the other photographers and tourists were. Sometimes there was low conversation, but sometimes 30 or 40 of us, all in different boats, watched the animals in complete silence for 30 minutes or more, in utter awe and reverence for these majestic and beautiful animals. Caiman look a lot like alligators and are in the same family.
That's too interesting. This bird has the largest feet in the world if you talk about body proportion, because he needs to walk on aquatic plants. Like one of the nails can be like 2 inches long.
No. I figured. Let him cross.
This jaguar's name is Rayo. He's also affectionately called Mick Jaguar. Mick is a great swimmer, and I watched him swim back and forth, thinking about crossing this river, and I worried about whether he would ever make it across the river. But I later saw him cross the river back and forth many times. I was also very moved by the spirit of cooperation and collegiality between all the guides and boat drivers. Many of the guides were from different tour companies, but there was no competition. Whoever saw a jaguar first, including the fishermen, got on the radio and let everyone know, and sometimes 10 or more boats would race to the scene, sometimes just one boat. Boats took turns being closest to the jaguar so that everyone had a chance for a good view. For the time I was there, It was a feeling of belonging to a very special group of people, a really nice community. We watched this black-collared hawk catch several fish. Located right above the Pantanal, the Amazon rainforest has been producing more carbon dioxide than it absorbs for the past several years, wrote D.P. Carrington this July 2021 in The Guardian. Multiple studies agree that the Amazon fires now produce more carbon than its trees can absorb due to deforestation. The Amazon now produces 1 billion tons of carbon dioxide per year, which is equal to the annual emissions of Japan, the world's 5th largest polluter. It is crucial to stop deforestation, which benefits mainly corporations. Illegal mining and logging, beef corporations, oil and gas drilling. In just 11 days, I fell in love with the Pantanal. Its amazing animals, kind people, and dynamic energy.
Yeah. I think that was a bath before bed.
Hard day chasing fish.
They wore themselves out playing and eating and
You say we
fishing.
leave the bee and then we'll go eating.
Ecotourism has become important in protecting jaguars in the Pantanal. During my nature photography tour with Van Oss Photo Safaris, I learned how critical ecotourism is for the survival of jaguars. Jaguars were once hunted, but now they are sought after by tourists to view, admire, and learn about. Van Oss tours are especially geared to maximize photo opportunities, but you don't have to be a pro to go. I chose Van Oss tours because it's uniquely geared for photographers. Ecotourism helps local communities, creating good jobs for many local people who become guides, birders, boat drivers, and staff for local restaurants and lodges, as well as local tour companies. We traveled in air-conditioned vans, had only 3 photographers to a boat, and we stayed in lovely hotels and lodges like Hotel Pantanal Norte, which had excellent gourmet food. Hotel Pantanal Norte has become the go-to place for ecotourists and wildlife photographers and others who want to enjoy and photograph wildlife. Entrevista Jamil talks about how his father used to hunt jaguars, but now he has transformed his ranch into a center for ecotourism in the Pantanal at Porto Jafre. If you go to portojoffre.com, you can hear Entrevista Jamil talk about how his ranch became a center of ecotourism in the Pantanal. Here I am at the hotel. I create videos and write books about peace education. Paulo took this picture of me out on the river with a jaguar on the bank behind. Professional nature photographers like Mark Thomas help us to see the beauty and passion of wildlife that we might otherwise never see. Mark was also one of our Van Oss photo safari guides, along with Paulo Bout of Bout Expeditions, who is an ornithologist and a birder. While in Brazil, Paulo introduced us to the Jaguar Identification Project. Paulo is on the board of this nonprofit organization.
Hi, I'm Abby Martin, and I'm the creator of the Jaguar Identification Project. We use citizen science to study individual jaguar behavior in the northern Pantanal region of Porto Joffre, Mato Grosso, Brazil, home to the world's densest population of jaguars. By using citizen science, we are practicing a method of research that is completely uninvasive and sustainable. We provide jaguar field guides that you can use to identify the individual jaguar you're viewing in the river. The whole pattern of a jaguar is like a fingerprint, so you can use the forehead and the left and right side patterns to ID the individual you're watching. Camera trap research. The Jaguar ID project also runs a camera trap project, which is 100% funded by donations. Since 2013, we have 20 different camera traps set up between 2 different locations in the Pantanal. With the camera traps, we are monitoring jaguar density, but also looking at prey species availability. When a camera trap is donated, we share all the interesting photos to the donors. We also share that information with college students from Michigan University. The project also hosts volunteers during the peak season.
Hi, my name is Emily. I'm a volunteer with the Jaguar Identification Project. Waiting for our jaguar friend to show herself, but I'm just here with some guests. Say hi. Hi, guys.
Providing an opportunity for biologists and other nature lovers a chance to work with the project and help local ecologists with different sustainable practices. By you supporting the Jaguar Identification Project, you've added value to the only place in the world where a wild jaguar is worth more than a dead one.
During one of his tours this summer, Mark Thomas photographed a new jaguar that had not been identified by the Jaguar Identification Project previously. Mark named this new jaguar Pollyanna after Pollyanna Pickering, the famous wildlife artist from the UK. In 2017, Pollyanna traveled to Brazil to paint the jaguar. For 15 years, Pollyanna ran a registered hospital for birds of prey from her home. There she cared for injured and orphaned raptors as well as foxes, hedgehogs, squirrels, and other mammals, which are featured in her artwork. The Pollyanna Pickering Foundation, which she created, raises funds for worldwide conservation, animal welfare, and disaster relief. This foundation also created a home for children in Ethiopia. Pollyanna's artwork is known all over the world. In 2012, she was awarded the Artists for Conservation's Simon Combs Conservation Award for conservation through artistic excellence. She has won many awards for her artwork as well as her conservation efforts and her work as a businesswoman. Pollyanna was featured in a BBC documentary about her work before her death in 2018. The world was saddened by her loss. I donated a camera trap to my elementary school where I work, and Abby sent us some of the video from our camera trap. The date on the camera trap didn't get set correctly. However, there were 165 takes from just 19 days. I can't wait to see what she sends us next. We show these little videos on our school morning show.
By you supporting the Jaguar Identification Project, you've added value to the only place in the world where a wild jaguar is worth more than a dead one.
I am amazed at the number of animals and birds that have come through our camera trap in less than a month. But then the Pantanal is one of the most biodiverse regions in the world. The Jaguar Identification Project works with Panthera. Dr. Alan Rabinowitz co-founded the nonprofit organization Panthera with its chairman Thomas Kaplan and his wife Daphna Recanati in 2006. Panthera has programs all over the world to protect big cats like jaguars, lions, tigers, snow leopards, cheetahs, leopards, and cougars. During his lifetime, Dr. Rabinowitz worked to establish the first jaguar sanctuary in the world in Belize, as well as other nature reserves to protect big cats. Jaguars like to travel long distances, which prevents them from becoming extinct. Panthera tracks the paths that jaguars travel using special cameras that take photos or video when animals walk by it. This has aided Panthera in discovering where to create preserved lands to create a corridor so that jaguars can travel from southern Arizona through Mexico, southward through Central America, and through Colombia all the way to the southern tip of South America. This corridor connects different breeding groups of jaguars, allowing them to intermingle and interbreed to prevent them from becoming extinct. In pondering the plight of the jaguar, it was Dr. Alan Rabinowitz who realized the need for jaguars to have safe spaces to travel up and down the 3 million kilometers that jaguars roam. Panthera purchased ranches in Brazil to help protect the jaguar corridor and is working to create a wild tiger corridor in Asia from the Bhutan to Burma. To stop poachers from killing jaguars and other big cats, the poacher cam was developed. These special cameras can tell the difference between animal and human faces and send photos of poachers directly to law enforcement officials who then arrest poachers. These cameras have helped reduce the number of animals that are killed illegally by poachers. Panthera also trains local farmers on ways to build predator-proof enclosures and other techniques to protect their livestock. Panthera works with local communities to educate them to not overhunt prey species that jaguars eat. Panthera also created a school for children in Brazil so that children don't have to be separated from their parents in order to get an education. Dr. Rabinowitz was CEO of Panthera before his death in August of 2018. His death was a great loss.
I'm Alan Rabinowitz, and I'm in the Pantanal of Brazil. Behind me here is something that has been an incredible accomplishment for the jaguars. It's the Panthera Pantanal School, which we have set up on this ranch This school allows people in the area not to be separated from their children, and their children go to school locally. This is a book about me, about when I was your age.
Escreveu esse livro para as crianças como vocês.
I'm a stutterer. If I try to push the words out, my head and my body shake. I can't talk. My teachers think something's wrong with me. But I know I can do one thing without stuttering. I can talk to animals. I don't think they understand my words, but I know they can feel. They can feel what I'm saying. People don't understand the animals because they don't talk, so they hurt the animals. I say, if I grow up and I can talk and I have a voice, I will try to be the voice for the animals. The only way to save wildlife in this world and to save vast landscapes of biodiversity is to make sure that the local people are a part of that model for saving wildlife. It's not commonly thought about that researchers or jaguar biologists would build a school, bring a teacher in, try to educate children. We use this tool of community outreach throughout the whole Jaguar corridor in different ways. Sometimes it's schools, sometimes it's books or equipment, sometimes it's a generator, so sometimes it's giving scholarships for the children to go to higher education. All of that involving local people so that they know that the wildlife has a benefit to them.
This jaguar's name is Jaguar. She looks like she's growling, but she is actually yawning. She is the sister of Medrosa, pictured here. Maybe you would like to try to identify the names and family trees of some of the other jaguars in this movie. You can go to the Jaguar Identification Project's website, jaguaridentificationproject.com, and purchase their Jaguar Identification Guide for $5. In there you will find pictures of jaguars and their family trees. Who's mated with who, their moms, their dads, their brothers, and sisters. The Jaguar Identification Project also has a Facebook page and an Instagram page where they post videos and photographs of jaguars. International Jaguar Day was proclaimed November 29, 2018. In March 2018, representatives from 14 countries met in New York at the United Nations for the Jaguar 2030 Forum and created this day to celebrate and protect jaguars. Their goal is to expand the Jaguar corridor by creating 30 new conservation areas for jaguars by 2030. Dr. Ellen Rabinowitz was one of the many voices that joined in the call for this Jaguar Day. World Jaguar Day was celebrated June 11, 2019. These two events reveal an increasing international concern for the welfare of jaguars. A number of indigenous nations also live in the Pantanal. Indigenous land management practices are the most effective in sustaining the health of tropical rainforests around the world, according to research studies, note Zoe Schlanger and Daniel Wolf, writing in Quartz. Satellite imagery shows that from 1985 to 2018, deforestation crept up to and stopped literally at the edge of the Zingo Indigenous Park in Brazil, Throughout history, when governments and corporations have trampled their rights and native indigenous peoples were displaced and their land was taken, environmental degradation and destruction followed, writes Sam Ordonos in Workers' World. Deb Howland and Joenia Wapichana of the Washington Post also note that protecting indigenous lands protects the environment. Scott Wallace of National Geographic interviewed Beto Marubo, a native leader from Javaro Valley indigenous land in western Brazil, who expressed grave concern about decreasing rainforest protections, indigenous rights, safety for indigenous people, and criminal gangs that traffic in timber and exotic species stolen from indigenous land. Scientists have documented that the lands where indigenous people live have the most intact protected forests, Marubo said. That's because, for us, the land is life. Without the land, there is no life, he said. Most of the Amazon lies within Brazil. 40% of the world's tropical rainforests are in the Amazon, which also holds 10 to 15% of the Earth's biodiversity, write Nova Zaventina and Santaram in The Economist. Threats to the Amazon include cattle ranching, mining, agribusinesses, which are large corporate farming operations, and logging. So what can we do to help? James Pasley, writing in BusinessInsider.org, suggests some options. Number 1, he suggests reducing, reusing, and recycling paper and wood, reducing beef, leather, and palm oil. Pasley also suggests writing congresspeople and the U.S. State Department about concerns for the rainforests. He writes that there are 6 nonprofits working to help the Amazon rainforest with well-documented track records. These are the Amazon Conservation Association, the Amazon Conservation Team, Amazon Watch, Rainforest Foundation US, Rainforest Trust, and Rainforest Action Network. Fourth, Pasley suggests that we continue to educate ourselves and others about protecting and caring for our Earth home. Ecotourism is also a growing area of economic vitality for Brazil. Ecosystem services from Jaguar habitats in Brazil generate more than $4 billion per year, notes Panthera. Henry Olson of the Washington Post suggests that developed countries consider investments in renewable technologies like solar batteries to help lower greenhouse gases at home and in developing countries to use sustainable ways to raise global living standards. Solar and wind can bring electricity to homes in ways that are environmentally sound and create energy independence in remote areas. The jaguar is an umbrella species. Protecting the jaguar means protecting an enormous number of other species who live in the Amazon rainforest, the Pantanal, and all throughout the entire jaguar corridor, which encompasses 18 countries from Mexico to Argentina at the tip of South America. During the early 1900s, jaguars used to live as far north as the Grand Canyon and as far west as California. Fossils of jaguars from the Ice Age have been discovered in Missouri according to worldatlas.com. As human beings, we are one of the many species living under the jaguar's umbrella. Because the jaguar's territory includes the Amazon rainforest, which has been called the lungs of our planet because of the tremendous amount of carbon dioxide it absorbs. Trees absorb carbon dioxide from the air and give back out oxygen. So, protecting the jaguar ultimately means protecting not only the wonder and beauty of nature, but it also means protecting ourselves. On her Jaguar Identification Project Instagram site, Abby quotes Baba Diom, a Senegalese forest and water engineer. He says, "In the end, We can serve only what we love. We will love only what we understand. We understand what we are taught. And I would add, for me, nature is awe-inspiring, and it has a lot to teach us if we watch and listen with open hearts, reverent spirits, and respectfully open minds. The earth, the skies, the animals, the biodiversity, and all of humanity, we are, after all, one earth family.
He likes to swim, doesn't he?
Oh, the water in the stream, flowing through the centuries, through the canyons, through the trees, this be dear to me. And the breezes as they blow from across the seas through your window, where they come from, where they go, this be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. I believe this is what's worth fighting for. I'll help us see that there is so much more. I don't know. Oh, the desert vast and wide, silent under endless skies. And then you put your hand in mine, this be dear to me. Oh, when you wake still warm from sleep, half a dream, your soft lips speak, safe and near me you I'll keep, this be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. I believe this is what's worth fighting for. I'll help us see that there is so much more. I don't know. I don't know. Oh, the autumn rust and gold, winter mornings crisp and cold. Then in spring the world unfolds, this be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. Oh, the whole world's whispering, the morning rains, the prayer bells ring, the eagle cries, the great whales sing, this be dear to me. Oh, this be dear to me. What's worth fighting for. Oh, help us see that there is so much more. I don't know. I don't know. If I leave this world too soon, far beyond the silver moon, live your life with love and truth, this be dear to me. Look, there's love in all that's true. This be dear to me. Feel the love surround